Hey guys, it's Bruce from Awesome Arcades. I'm in my office making this video. I have the light turned off because it makes kind of a weird glare. So the purpose of this video is to tell you more about the shipping. And so that's probably one of the most frequently asked questions. And so this is going to be a freight curbside LTL shipment. And so LTL just means less than truckload. The best way to think about it would be to compare it to like a package delivery from Amazon. In that, the person that brings you the game is going to be alone at the time of delivery. And so let me back up a second. So when you place the order, the first thing I'm going to do, I usually just shoot you an email and say, hey, I got your order, and I'll send you a confirmation later. The confirmation usually takes a while for me to type, so I normally send them out all in the evening or first thing in the morning. And so in that confirmation, I'm just going to verify the details. And that's as much for your benefit as it is for mine, because I don't want to ship you the wrong stuff, and you don't want me to ship it to the wrong place. So I'm going to ask you to verify what you bought, where it's going, and then in the confirmation email, I'm going to outline what I'm telling you right now. And so after it ships, and so I'll send you the confirmation. After then it ships out, I'm going to email you the tracking, and you can go on their website just like with FedEx. Now, if it's shipping to your home, they call you before they come out. So I pay for what's called a confirmation or a delivery notification. If it's going to a business, they don't call first. If you need me to have that happen, if you need them to call first for a business delivery, just let me know and I can add that in. If not, for business deliveries, they just show up during normal business hours. For a residential delivery, usually right when I ship it, they call you. And so they have to call before they come out. When they call, it's sometime before they show up, but usually after I ship it, it's like the next day they call, even if you're on the East Coast, which is like 5 or 6 days away. But they're going to call you. Now, from the time that it arrives at the terminal near your home, technically you have 48 hours to schedule your delivery. So hypothetically, if it showed up on a Monday, you have Tuesday or Wednesday to schedule. Their rules say that beyond that, they can charge storage. I've never seen them do that. They're very liberal with that policy. But if you like went on vacation and they had to hold it for like a month or two, that is a situation where they could potentially charge you storage. So try to avoid that. Excuse me. But they're going to call, they're going to schedule an appointment, and then they're going to come out. For the appointment, they're going to give you a delivery window. That window is usually 3 or 4 hours. Now, on the day of delivery, once the truck has been loaded, the van assignment, they have stops, right? They can tell you, you're going to be stop number 8. That puts us in your neighborhood around 1 o'clock. In addition, they can usually even narrow that down to an even more concise time if you ask them to call you or coordinate that with the driver. And so they are pretty flexible, and they'll usually work with you on that. Now, if you need a set date, if you say, I have to have it on this date, 99% of the time, their delivery schedule is rock solid. The last thing they want to do is leave your freight on their truck. They are not making money while they're holding you. So almost always, unless there's some weird weather event or truck breaks down or something, but almost always they're going to get you there on the day that they say and get you out for delivery the next day. So if it's a 5-day delivery point, it'll be there on the 5th day and be out for a residential delivery on the 6th day. That being said, 99% of the time that happens. 99% is not 100%. And I always make sure I spell that out to people. Now, if you need 100%, you can add what is called a guaranteed delivery service. That costs more. The amount for that cost is variable. It just depends on what you're shipping and where it's going, what time of the year, that kind of thing. The downside to a guaranteed or set date delivery is that they don't call first. They're just going to show up anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. on the day that you choose. Now, for some locations, they offer service that you can narrow down that delivery window with a set date. The more specific your requests or requirements, the higher the cost. So you can do a set date, guaranteed delivery, hourly window. So you could say, hey, I need it on the 27th at 1 o'clock, and I can't take it at 2 o'clock or any other time. That level of service is available in some locations, but not all locations. But assuming you're needing a normal type delivery, just know that I'm going to ship it. They're going to call you. They're going to set up an appointment. Now, when the driver comes out, he is going to have a truck, and that truck will have a lift gate. Unless I have worked out something with you that we've figured out you don't need a lift gate. Like if you're at a business with a loading dock or you have forklifts. But for most people, they need a lift gate. So the guy that comes out is going to be alone. Because he's alone, he cannot bring it inside or upstairs or anything like that. And I'll talk more about that in a second. And so he's going to show up, he's going to have a truck, the truck will have a lift gate, he's going to take the game off of the truck. Technically, that's where his involvement stops. That's why it's called a curbside freight delivery. You need to plan for that. most of the time, in fact, almost all of the time, the driver will he's on a truck with a pallet jack. He's going to move the freight off the truck. Most of the time, they'll be normal, nice people, and they'll wheel it up to the front door. Just bear in mind that they can't come inside. Now, you can add inside delivery, but it's a little misleading because inside has to be a completely flat surface. If there's even like a 1-inch lip, which unless you have like a wheelchair ramp, every house, when you go into the front door, there's a lip. He can't go up that because he's, it's a 200-pound game and he's using a pallet jack. And so if you wanted to add inside the garage services, you need to coordinate that with me in advance because it does cost more. The cost is variable based on which machine and where it's, the location. But most of the time he'll take it up from the street to the house and drop right outside the garage, but not in the garage. But bear in mind that he may not do that, so you have to plan accordingly, okay? Now, because he's alone, as I mentioned earlier, he physically can't go up any stairs. Now, I've heard a lot of my customers say that what is in writing and what actually happens on the day of delivery are two different things. Cash talks. I've seen a lot of guys say, hey man, I'll give you $40 if you help me carry this thing in the house and up some stairs. Just know that they may decline. They may say, hey, I can't do that. But a lot of times they will. So now if you definitely know that you need it brought into the house and downstairs, and you know that you don't have anybody to help you, you can add what's called a white glove service. White glove just means that they bring it inside, they unpack it, they set it where you want. Now bear in mind that the cross-country shipping company that takes it from me to you doesn't provide white glove. For me to do white glove, I have to ship it to a third party who would then provide a completely independent second redelivery of the game using a moving company. Okay, the average cost for that is like $300 to $500, which I know is expensive, but when you think about what it is, it's someone taking possession and then sending out at least 2, sometimes 3 guys to deliver it, and most of those companies have like a 3-hour minimum. So if you want a quote for that, let me know. Now, when you get the freight, what I would like you to do, I have bought insurance. That insurance guards against shipping damage. However, there are some very specific steps that I need you to follow, some instructions that I need you to follow regarding receiving the freight and how to inspect it. The first thing I would like you to do is just look at it. I mean, 99.9% of games are fine. I might have 2 or 3 damaged games a year, so it's very unlikely that this will be the case. So I don't want to scare you. But normally when they do damage it, they do a great job. They drop it off the truck or they hit it with a forklift, meaning it's very apparent. It shows up and you could tell that it's got damage. If you see damage, don't sign for it. Just send it back, call me, I'll immediately get you a replacement shipped out. Now, if you don't see damage, this is the part that I need you to follow very carefully. Now, when I say damage, I don't mean like a scuff to the cardboard or even like the pallet being damaged. I mean if you can see that the game is damaged, send it back. If you can't, bear in mind that the game is wrapped up really well, okay? What I would like you to do is I would like you to unwrap it before the driver leaves. Also, I would like you to remember that pictures are your best friend. Videos are even better. And so you may just want to start filming from the gate, but the more pictures you have, the better off it's going to be for me to file a claim. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not a wealthy man, and insurance companies love to get out of paying their insurance claims. It's just it's the nature of insurance. It's what they do. So if you don't see damage, unwrap the game. Now, in order for you to unwrap it, you have to sign for it. Sometimes the guy will let you, and if he does, great, go that route. But technically, you're not allowed to unwrap it until you sign for it. Once you sign for it, it's your property. And so I don't want you to ask the driver's permission. Anytime you ask somebody a yes or no question, you're giving them an opportunity to say yes or no. I just want you to be assertive. Now, I don't want you to get in an argument with the guy, and you shouldn't. You're allowed to do this. Sometimes I've got drivers around Christmas time that are in a hurry. They don't want to wait. I'd just like you to say, listen, I've been told that I have to unwrap this, and if there's any shipping damage under the packaging, I need to write it down and take pictures of it. Have a box cutter or scissor ready. And again, remember, you can't unwrap it until you sign for it. So sign for it. Hey driver, 2 seconds. Let me just peel this open to make sure the glass isn't broken. Now you don't have to plug it in. That part's all covered under the warranty. If when you unwrap it, you find any concealed shipping damage, make sure you write down what that is and take some pictures. If the driver leaves and you signed his paperwork, what you are signing is a legally binding agreement that says, a legally binding agreement that says, this game is free from any cosmetic shipping damage. If you call me an hour later and say, hey, it's got a 4-inch hole poked all the way through it from a forklift blade, they're going to deny the claim and say, this customer signed it free and clear. So any damage that's now must have happened after they got it. They must have damaged it or dropped it or something. So we want to avoid that. And so sign for it, unwrap it. Now, once you've unwrapped it, you do technically have to keep it. Sometimes they'll take it back, but most of the time what you'll have to do is allow me to swap them. So I'll have to send a new one, and then you keep the damaged one that you signed for and unwrapped. Okay. My goal in telling you this is for me to avoid losing money. You are not going to lose money. The only way that you would lose money in this situation, and I've only had it happen one time, if you're on the phone and the shipping company comes and you say, just leave it on the driveway, and then you go later and look at it and it's damaged, that's the kind of situation where I might deny replacing your game. I've actually never done it. I'm more worried about getting a bad review than losing the cost of a game. That one negative review would probably cost me way more money than the cost of a game in the long run. So, but at the same time, I am not wealthy, and I have a family to feed, and losing a game is very painful. I mean, really, it's like, I don't know, 10 or 15% of my monthly income every time I lose, depending on the machine, but just a total loss, yeah, it's not good. So, okay, hopefully that clears any questions up that you may have, and this is all in writing on the website, and thank you for taking the time to listen. I try to make these videos fast, and they always end up being like 10 or 15 minutes, so I don't know. My wife tells me I talk a lot. Maybe she's right. Thanks for listening. Bye.